So most B2B service businesses that aren't growing as fast as they want to right now aren't failing because of their offer. And despite what gurus are telling you, it's probably not because of your ads either. The truth is, every funnel has a handful of moments where the prospect is just one click away from walking away forever. And most businesses can't even tell you where those moments are. So after spending over $1 million on meta ads at this point and working with over 100 businesses, I've gotten a clear look at what the best are doing differently. They engineer their entire funnel around 5 key decision points, and they win every single one. So in this post, I'm breaking down all 5 of those decision points so prospects don't just book a call, they show up pre-sold, ready to close, and excited to work with you. So let's get into it. The first decision point is the one that most businesses think they already figured out, but it's actually the reason 90% of their ad spend is going straight into the trash. So decision 1 is, do I even trust this person enough to click? So I'm sure you might even be one of these people, but everybody in the B2B space, or even just in general, have been burned by an agency or two or a sketchy freelancer before. Prospects and people in the B2B space, but in the digital marketing space, anybody who needs this type of service are very, very skeptical. And it's really hard to get around that. Their feed is constantly just full of people like myself throwing these crazy offers at them and people promising the world, but no one actually delivering. And I say this a lot to people, the bar is extremely low when it comes to this. If you can be a good person and do right by your clients and actually deliver results, you will be successful in this industry. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it leaves a bunch of businesses with the idea that they think they can do this on their own and that they can run these things by themselves. And even if they have worked with an agency before, that agency has screwed them, but they still leave those campaigns on because they don't know how to make their own campaigns. They just know that they don't want to pay another agency to run their ads again. So most businesses are just running the same 3 to 4 ads for months. And if they're doing well and they're getting leads, they're just pumping spend. Maybe they start getting results in the beginning, then they try to ramp spend up, but then at a certain point, they just stop working, they fatigue, they stop getting leads, they stop getting booked calls, so they turn them off. They hit a dry spell again, and guess what they do? They turn those same 3 to 4 ads back on, and they leave them running for months. Obviously, the absolute wrong thing to do, and because of multiple reasons, it's just not how meta works anymore. If you keep running the same 3 to 4 ads for months and you have a decent budget, you're gonna burn out those ads very quickly. You're gonna get what we call creative fatigue. So creative fatigue is when Meta takes your ad, they show it to everybody, maybe you get a bunch of results, but then things stop working, right? Your cost per call goes through the roof, you stop getting leads, whatever your KPI, whatever your conversion event is, it just stops. It just stops working. It's because Meta has shown your ad to everybody who it thinks would be a good fit for it. And when that happens, when they shows it to those people as many times as it wants to, and they don't take action on it, then it effectively ran out of people to show your ad to. And since it's ran out of people and you don't have another ad there, it can't go grab another ad to show to those people. So what does it do? Well, your CPM skyrocket because it's fatigued. These people have already seen this ad, so it doesn't want to show it to them anymore. So what has this done? Meta's Andromeda update, and I'm sure you've watched thousands of videos on it at this point, it's made creative diversity non-negotiable. If you want to scale campaigns effectively, you need to have a large amount of creative diversity in your ad account. So we're talking ad sets with 15 to 30 ads in each one. We need to have different ads that have different hooks, different angles, different perspectives, different styles of ads, talking head ad like I am here, selfie, screen share, green screen, podcast. There's a million different types of ads that we could do. The point is that we need to give Meta more tools in the toolbox so that it can use those tools to get us in front of our audience. And the only way to do that is by making a shitload of ads. So for people who don't really have proven offers or don't know who their audience is on Meta yet, they have a new pixel, maybe they just only ever had agencies run their ads before. This is why we do our CBO creative strategy. And what this is just a mass amount of creatives every single week that we're launching out onto your ads manager. And what this looks like is we're starting off with 30 ads and it's 15 scripts, 2 hooks for each ad. All 15 of these scripts are different angles that we get from our clients. And I'm making a video that'll show you this, but basically we take the pain points, the desires and outcomes that they want, and the situations and circumstances that they're experiencing. We list 10 to 20 different pain points, 10 to 20 different desires and outcomes that they want, and 10 to 20 different situations and circumstances that they might be in. Each one of those bulleted things that we list there are angles that we can use for ads. So think of each one of those bulleted lines as an ad. We take those, we write 2 hooks, one direct, one creative. And what I mean by creative goes into detail. It speaks from preeminence. It talks about, we're speaking as if we know exactly where they're at. We're describing their situation so well that they feel connected. The goal of these hooks is to get the head nod. Are you experiencing blank? And every time you do blank, it's blank, and someone's watching and they're just going like this. Yeah, yeah. That's what we want when we write a creative hook. So we take these, we put them in a CBO campaign, and then we let them run. We let Meta decide which ads, which hooks, which angles are going to work with your audience. Believe it or not, this is the most effective way to run ads nowadays. The Andromeda update, the philosophy that they're using now is ad volume. Give Meta the tools to target your audience and they will do it. So usually a campaign will look like this. One campaign, 2 ad sets, one completely broad, no interest stacks, no nothing, one with interest stacks. In each of those ad sets, there are 30 ads in each one. So 30 ads in broad, 30 ads in interest stack. And those are the same ads effectively, but they're being shown to people that are based on the interest stack and then also where Meta thinks they should go. And then we see which strategy works best for your offer and your ads. And the reason why we need to give Meta so many different distinct messaging angles is because think of people as a whole. Groups of people in general are just not one monolithic group where everybody has the same thoughts, same feelings, same problems, same experiences. Everybody has different experiences and different perspectives and different pain points and different thoughts. So it's important that we test and we launch as many ads that can hit as many of these pain points, these angles that we can find or that we can come up with so that Meta can find the most people with the Andromeda update. So it's important that we launch ads that are targeting specific pain points, 20 of them, because there might be groups of people who are experiencing one but not the other. So when we launch one ad that is targeting one pain point, we're only targeting those types of people who want to see 1, that pain point, and 2, that type of ad creative, which is another topic. So now we're going to get a little bit into how I am structuring my ads on generally a regular basis. There's a bunch of different ways that we can write ads, but there is a good way that you should start off if you're just doing this for the first time. So first, we obviously start with our hook, and there's a tons of different hooks out there that we could use. There's tons of different templates and formats and types, but ultimately, what's the point of a hook? We want to hook the people in to watch our ad. So a good hook rate, if 25% of people are watching 3 seconds into your ad, that's a good hook rate. We want that. Anything above 25%, we're good. So the point of a hook is to grab people's attention, keep them intrigued for the next part, where we add the context to the hook. So the context to the hook is we're providing more information to the hook that we just talked about. So if it's a pain point, we hit them with that pain point, that initial one that's like, oh yeah, I am experiencing that. And then you're adding context to it. So like giving more information about the situation, going deeper into why they are feeling that pain point. Then we hit them with the offer. How can we help them? What are we going to do for them? Make sure this is crystal fucking clear. It needs to be so that a 3rd grader could understand what you're doing. If it is not clear to you, then it definitely is not clear to the person that is watching your ad. Then we go into future pacing. So here is where we paint the picture of what life is like after we have solved the problem. So what's the outcome? What are the benefits of that outcome that we just provided by them doing our offer or utilizing our service? And one thing that most people don't do is this next part, which is the mechanism of the solution. People always talk about what, but they don't talk about how. So it's, yeah, we'll make ad creatives for you. How? What is so different about your ads and the way that you do it that makes that person want to buy? So in this part of the ad, I'm explaining to people what exactly we're doing to get them the result that I just promised them in my offer. Then we go to the opposite, the mechanism of the false solution. So this is the thing that they've been doing that's not working, and we're explaining to them why it's not working. Then we go into proof. So this is social proof, case studies, testimonials, things that you've accomplished, authority-based proof, whatever you have that you could tell people that makes them think that you're the guy for the job. And then last but not least, obviously the call to action. Don't overcomplicate this. We just need one of them. So one single CTA, not 2, not 3, just one call to action. By the way, if you want some help actually building this system out for your business, click the first link in the description to book a call with us, and we'll run a full funnel audit for you and your business and show you exactly where you are leaking prospects. Okay, so at this point, someone trusts you enough to click, and your landing page made them feel like this was built for them. But the next decision point is the one where I see most money left on the table, because this is where warm prospects talk about themselves out of taking action. And let's be clear here, having great ads and a great offer is obviously very important, and it can really turn your business around. But when things really get fun and things really start working all together is when your total presence starts working. The same reason why I make 30 ads a week is the same reason why I'm making this YouTube video right now. and I get a lot of help doing it. It's because it matters and it's a great way to get clients. When people see your ad, you best believe that they're gonna go do their research. They're gonna be like, who is this guy that keeps popping up on my feed? They're not just gonna say, yeah, I trust him immediately, unless you have a great landing page with a bunch of social proof. Most people are gonna do their research. And when you have zero content out there talking about what you do, showing off your expertise and your knowledge and being the person you want to show them that you are, it's gonna be really hard to get people to trust you. And some people will fall through the cracks, of course, but imagine if you had 10 or 20 YouTube videos that were total high value, that was showing people how you got certain clients' results, how you do the thing that you do, and going into extreme detail. What if you had 50 to 100 shorts on your Instagram profile that were talking about pain points, that were giving advice, that were going through case studies, that were talking about Meta's new update, turn this thing off in your ad account? If you had those things paired with your ads, what does that do to your ads that you're running? It only makes them stronger and only makes you look better. I've had people read my emails, I've had people watch my YouTube videos after booking a call with me, and that was the reason why they decided to work with me, is because I have an hour-long video about what we do and how we do it. One more point to this: if you don't have social proof, guess what's just as good as social proof? Authority, having knowledge, having expertise, and you could show that to people through content. If you have a boatload of knowledge on how to achieve a result and how to exactly get it, and you share that with people, that is proof that you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing. Sure, maybe it's not as strong as a testimonial or a case study, but it's just as good in the sense that you clearly know what you're talking about. And most of the time, that's all people want to know. Now, getting someone to trust you enough to click is only half the battle, because the next decision point is where I see even the smartest marketers completely drop the ball. And it's the one that silently kills your cost per qualified call. Now, the second decision that they're going to make is this actually for my specific situation? So a great way to get people to feel like this isn't for their exact situation is by having what we call a mismatch. So a mismatch is when the ad has a specific pain point and offer that you're talking about, and then when they go to the landing page with the VSL, it says something completely different. When that happens, people immediately lose trust, one, but they become confused, and then therefore they don't take the next step in your funnel. The landing page should pick up the thread and continue the conversation that was started in the ad creative. And you could have a landing page that is fairly genetic and general, and then have a bunch of different ads that have a bunch of different pain points and different everything, and then they go to something that could be a match, but again, that's just going to kill conversions too. We want everything to be specifically aligned across all levels. We want them to feel like this page was made specifically for them. And it kind of sounds like a hard thing to do, because that's a lot of messaging that you have to keep in line, from the ads, VSL, landing page, pre-call email sequences, everything else. They'll copy in the landing page. That's a lot to keep in line. So how do we do that for our clients? Well, we have what we call a creative brief. And really what this is a document that is inclusive of not only their onboarding form, but all of the market research that we've done about them, their ICP, the people they want to target, the pain points, everything about their target audience that we need to know is put into one document. And then we use that to craft our copy going forward, so everything is aligned and there's no confusion. So a good way to structure your landing page to stay focused and continue the conversation from what was started in the ads is using a landing page structure that looks like this. One, you're going to have your headline, you're going to have your VSL, you're going to have the problem, so that's going to be essentially your headline. Underneath that, we're going to agitate a little bit. We're going to be listing out the problems. Are you experiencing this, and this? We want them to really feel that emotion. Then we provide a solution. Here's how we solve that problem. Then we provide proof that this solution works, and then we forward them to the application. And if they fill out the application properly and they become a qualified lead, then they are booking a call. So one of the most important pieces that you're going to have in your funnel is going to be your VSL. And this is what does a lot of the pre-selling and objection handling before a sales call. The VSL is a great opportunity to educate the leads and the prospects that are coming into your funnel, not only on yourself, but what you do, how you solve the problem, elaborating on the problem that they might have and why they need a solution to it. So I would say a VSL is absolutely 100% crucial to any sort of successful landing page. And this is the structure that I use to get people to watch my VSL, keep them hooked throughout, and then hopefully end up on a sales call. So first, we are going to start with our hook. Just like an ad, we need a hook to keep people engaged in the beginning of our VSL. But a VSL hook is going to include a little bit more. It's going to include an introduction to yourself. It's going to educate people on the problem, and you're going to give them the offer. So after the hook and the opening in the first 60 to 90 seconds of your VSL, they should know who you are, what you do, what problem you solve, and what the offer is. And then an early call to action, which is the second thing that we are going to do. Phase 2 is what I call the build belief phase, where again, we're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to talk about their core problem. We'll go back to that false solution. So what's the thing that they think that they've been doing that is right, but it's really causing more problems? It's never going to solve their problem. It's a false solution. Then we go into the real solution and how that solves their pain point. Then we reinstate the big promise. So we go back to our offer. What is the core offer? What is the guarantee? What is the risk reversal? How are we keeping them intrigued to move on to the next step? And then we move into phase 3, which is what I call the close phase. So here we're getting into case studies and proof. We're talking about how we've used this solution to get specific results for different people that are just like them. We're listing out what they get in the next part. So really go through, like, talk about the mechanism of your solution. What do they get and why is it important? Next, we'll address the objection. So we're literally reading out FAQs on camera and then answering them. So what are the 3 to 5 biggest questions and objections that people have when they're going to work with you? And then literally just answer them on camera and put it in the VSL so that we could pre-handle those. And then last but not least, we have our final CTA, which we only have one. It's the same one throughout. So a great example of a quality VSL getting people pre-sold and showing up to calls. It's a client that we have, a Point Clicks. They were using a landing page with no VSL. They were getting tons of leads, but their show rate was like 33% and people were unqualified and they had tons of questions and they really weren't prepared for the call. Nowadays, we are getting calls in that 200 to 250 cost per call. However, their show rate is north of 70 to 80% and they are closing way more high value clients because these people are showing up immediately. They know that they're the right fit for them and they're pre-sold. So the sales calls are a breeze. They're just telling them the price and walking them through next steps. And this has allowed them to close nearly 50K of business within the first month of running ads with us. So the next decision is decision 3. Should I just book a call now or come back later? So the reality is, if someone clicks into your funnel and they view your whole funnel and they don't book, chances are they are not coming back. And the reason for this is because normally people are just putting the wrong type of stuff on their landing page or in their VSL. They are underpricing themselves. They're overselling their offer. They're just listing the things out like grocery items on their landing page instead of going into detail on how their solution is solving a problem and giving people exactly what they get. They're commoditizing their business. They're just offering a service. They're not selling a transformation, which a good funnel, good ads are not selling a service. We're pitching a transformation, an outcome. You are here, let's get you to here. Another thing that's gonna make people stick around is having an offer so good that people feel dumb for saying no. And there's a lot that goes into making an offer, but my best piece of advice to you would be to follow the structure I'm about to tell you, but also keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't try and make it too nifty or confusing, because the fact of the matter is, if you have trouble kind of understanding what your offer is, a cold lead definitely will not understand it. So this needs to be so clear and so easy to understand that a literal 3rd grader could understand what you're trying to sell. So follow this structure to make a really good offer. So we always want to start with a bleeding neck problem. Like, what is the most urgent problem that these people have? If it's extremely high cost per call or low quality leads, it could even be bigger picture, like wasting money on ads or something like that. It's going to be a problem that is really just like crushing their business and they need to fix it now. Next is going to be the cost of inaction. Are you dealing with X problem and it's so bad that it's keeping you up at night? It's just ruining your life. Like, you're going into the details of the cost of not taking action. Then we're going into our mechanism stack, which is like done for you, transformation, and then we're going into our guarantee and risk reversal. So a good offer is going to have a specific pain point, the cost of inaction, how we're going to solve that problem, the transformation we're going to give them from solving it, utilizing our mechanism, and then the guarantee and risk reversal. So what is the reason? Why would they click on the ad? They don't trust you. Well, if it doesn't work, you don't have to pay. Or we'll run 10 ads for you. And if it doesn't beat your best cost per call, then you don't have to pay. That's an intriguing offer to most people because, one, they need tons of creatives now because of the Andromeda update and they know it and they hate making them. And 2, if they suck and they don't work, they don't have to pay. That's our offer, and it books a shitload of sales calls. There is a really cool little hack as well that we can utilize to capture people. It's also crucially important to capture information about the people who are visiting your landing page wherever we can. So we utilize a tool called Typeform, and they have a really cool feature called partial submissions. So basically, once someone fills out a form to a certain extent, we can add a partial submission where Typeform will automatically submit the form without the people even knowing, so that we gather their contact information. And then the questions after that, if they don't answer, they don't complete the form, so what? I have your name, phone number, and email, and I can reach out to you and book a call with you if you feel like it's a fit. Because you never know why people will stop filling out a form. Maybe they're in the process of filling out your form and they get a phone call. Someone pops up, they run into somebody they know, they just forget. Whatever the case may be, we don't know if it's because they don't like your form or they don't want to answer the question. A lot of times things happen, and we can't assume that these people don't want to be contacted by us. There have been time and time again where I have called people who partially submitted and they ended up wanting a call, but something came up and they couldn't finish the form. Utilizing the partial submit in a form so we can gather contact information is absolutely crucial to staying in touch with leads and making sure that we're getting people's information so we can contact them. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think that once someone books a call, the hard part is over, but the next decision is the one that 99% of business owners don't even know exists, and it's quietly destroying their show rates and their closing rates at the same time. So decision 4 is, did I make the right decision by booking this call? I don't know about you, but I have some tattoos, and there's always a point in time when I'm getting some tattoos where I'm like, is this the right move? It's gonna be forever. Now, ultimately, I love all of my tattoos. I have no issues there, but there is a part of me that as soon as I'm getting it, or as soon as I make that appointment, I'm second guessing myself because it's kind of a big decision. Same thing happens with your prospects when they book a sales call. When they book that sales call, they are at the height of their emotions. They feel like they found a solution. They're excited. They want to get the ball rolling. They're very interested. But if they book that call 3 days from now, 72 hours from the time that they booked it, there's a lot of things that can happen. Buyer's remorse or booking remorse can start settling in, and then they start second guessing themselves if they actually need it. Maybe their problem kind of fixes themselves, or they believe that it does for a day because they booked some calls. Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of things that can happen over the course of 72 hours that leads people to not show up or to just cancel the call altogether. So it's important that we take advantage of people in this emotional state where they feel like they found a solution and they're in the mood to find one. So most business owners are just going to send them to like a plain ass confirmation page that says, thanks for booking your call. We'll see you at blah, 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 blah time. And that's it. They get some booking reminders with date and time, and that's it. They don't do anything else. But what you should be doing instead is, after that call is booked, you should be sending them to a page with more information about your offer. This is a great opportunity to give them next steps, to give them some homework before the call, to pre-handle more objections. So your confirmation page after they book the call should have a welcome video, a thanks for booking, more about next steps, more about what they can expect in between now and the call. Underneath that, we have more FAQs. And I'm not talking about a question and then a drop down with more words. Film yourself answering these questions. Put a box with a question and then a video answering it so you could screen share, you could show proof, you could show them your process. This is a great opportunity to leverage video and yourself to pre-handle objections and for them to see your face more. The more people see your face, the more you engage with them, the more trust that is built before the call. Another thing that is crucially important to making sure that people show up to the call is reaching out to these people within 10 minutes after the booking has happened. So we want to be sending people text messages with a selfie video saying, hey, Richie Burner here from Built2Book. I just wanted to introduce myself, so please watch this video before the call and confirm if you're coming. And in that video, I'm just introducing myself. Hey, Richie Burner here with Built2Book. I saw you just booked the call. I'm super excited. Bring up a few things about their form and their website. Hey, like I see you're running meta ads right now. I was just checking out some of your ads. Some of them look really good. There's some things I see with the landing page that we could talk about, but I'm super excited to get to know you and your business, and we'll talk soon. I just did one off the top of my head. So sending that selfie video, contacting people right away, giving them a call shows you that you're serious about your business, that you're a real person, that they can trust you, and that they should be ready for the call and build up that excitement a little bit. The next part is your pre-call email sequence. Now, some people think this is aggressive, but I got it from the best. His name is Jeremy Haynes, and it's the hammer them strategy. We want to be sending emails up to the call up to 3 times a day. I mean, some people send more. We send emails every 4 hours leading up to the call, which some people might think is overkill, but it's not. I get great feedback on these emails, and we do the same thing for our clients, and they also get great feedback. We're pre-handling objections. People are asking for videos. People are responding to these emails and engaging with them so that they know that they're going to show up. So these emails are super powerful, and we have email sequences that range from 9 emails to 18 emails. And that brings us to the final decision, which is honestly the most expensive one to get wrong, because if you lose someone here, you've already paid for the click, the landing page view, the application, and the booking, and all of that money just evaporated. And decision 5 is, am I actually going to show up ready to buy? So a typical business owner without these systems and processes implemented could see show rates rates of like 50% or lower. But if you implement everything that I was just talking about, you can see show rates go from 70% or higher. Just having a confirmation page with that confirmation video and all the FAQ videos could literally jack up your show rate by like 5 or 10%. The call or text message with the intro video before the call could jack up your show rate by another 10%. If you're at 50% or lower, you're already back to benchmark, which is 70%. And what's the gap in that? Well, think about it. If you have 10 calls booked, that's the difference between 5 or 7 calls. And if you have a price point or average sale point of $5,000, that's the difference between $10,000 in revenue. It's not a small thing. Now, this is where everything comes together. This is where everything compounds, all right? So the VSL pre-sold them, the FAQs handled the objections, the email and SMS sequences builded the trust, and the personal outreach made them feel valued and excited to come onto the call. Now they are ready to show up, they are ready to buy, and they're genuinely interested in working with you. And forget about what this can do to show rates. Think about what it could do to your conversion rates. This could easily add a good 10 to even 20% on your conversion rates if you put enough information into them. This could easily increase your conversion rates by 10 or 20% if we're giving them enough valuable information before the call. So just imagine what this is doing to your sales calls. There's nobody showing up saying, "Who are you again? What do you guys do?" That's like the worst feeling in the world. And everybody's had it happen to them once or twice, but that is like the worst thing that could possibly happen to me, at least when I'm on a sales call, because it just feels like you're speaking with someone completely brand new. Like all that work you put into your funnel doesn't even exist. So your sales calls will go from, formalities and small talk and then you trying to explain to them exactly what you do and then them figuring out that maybe it's not a fit and then pitching people who you don't think are actually going to buy, but you're going to pitch them anyways because they're there, to having a real conversation, a real discovery, getting to know people, being consultative, and then giving them a pitch and a solution because they actually want to hear it. It's not being forced. We're pitching them because it just comes about naturally. So why am I talking about all this? What's the whole point? And the point is that most acquisition problems are system problems. It's not isolated. It's not in the ad or just the funnel or just the creative or just somewhere specific in the funnel. You can't just fix one piece and expect everything downstream to improve. Now, once you have that system built, yes, certain specific things are going to break. But if you don't have a system in the first place, you're missing the boat. And when this whole thing comes together and starts working in perfect harmony, it is a beautiful thing because you know that for every certain amount of dollars that you put into this machine, you are going to get a specific outcome. Once you are able to do the math and you have data and you're able to back engineer your results to get to your goal, it just becomes a math equation. It just becomes how many people can I close and how much money can I put into this beast so that I can scale my business as fast as possible. So those are the 5 decision points where most B2B funnels are leaking money. And now you know exactly what to look for in yours. But this video was the high level overview. If you want the full step-by-step blueprint on how to actually build the entire system from scratch, I made a full free course breaking down every single piece, the ad account structure, the landing page, the VSL, the follow-up sequences, the tech setup, everything. So you can just follow along and build it. Go watch that video on screen right now. And if you don't want to do all of this by yourself and you'd rather have us build the whole thing for you in 14 days, click the first link in the description to book a call. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.